When the term Project Ivy first emerged within internal chatter at U.S. intelligence agencies, it felt ripped straight from a Cold War spy thriller. But just last week, insiders with access to classified briefings claimed that a CIA memo made a direct connection between Meghan Markle's close advisors and Project Ivy, a covert global influence operation said to target public opinion, media ecosystems, and power networks. This information, reportedly discussed in a closed-door briefing with top U.S. officials, leaked within 72 hours. The fallout was swift. Political journalists picked up fragments of the briefing, and social media went into overdrive. Wait, what? CIA tying Meghan's team to Project Ivy? The disbelief was instant. Commentators struggled to process the scope of it. Was this a smear campaign of historic scale? Or was Meghan linked to something more deeply embedded than anyone had realized? According to London Media Pulse, the CIA document in question described Project Ivy as a narrative management initiative operating under private sector cover. With an international footprint, it allegedly involves media strategists, analytics firms, and unnamed celebrity intermediaries acting as narrative couriers. One intelligence source summarized it like this: "This isn't espionage in the cloak and dagger sense. It's about shaping belief systems globally, from red carpets in Los Angeles to parliamentary debates in the Commonwealth." The most jaw-dropping revelation: Meghan's name, and more specifically, her communications team, were reportedly identified as subjects of ongoing analytical interest. That's where the plot deepens. Just a reminder, every manipulated tweet, scrubbed statement, and curated press push takes hours of digging to unravel. If you want to help this channel keep doing that, hit the join button and support independent analysis. We follow the threads others ignore. So, what exactly is Project Ivy? Leaked materials describe it as a coordinated digital influence architecture spanning social media platforms, streaming content, and celebrity outreach pipelines. It's said to focus not on hacking, but on engineering perception, especially around political narratives, philanthropic movements, and royal discourse. Most staggering of all, Meghan Markle's digital advisors and strategic consultants were flagged under a section titled Entities of Interest, Narrative Amplification. One veteran intel analyst explained, "This isn't classic tradecraft, it's soft power deployed through culture. Influencers instead of operatives, Hollywood instead of Havana. The idea is to steer what people believe, especially in countries still symbolically tethered to the British monarchy." One section of the leaked CIA materials included a heat map allegedly showing bursts of traffic from high-engagement social accounts. These showed unusual growth pattern spikes in coordinated messaging traced back to influencer clusters linked to Meghan's media strategy firm. The implication: these weren't organic trends. They were calculated waves of influence, dressed up as grassroots discourse. Online reaction exploded. "This Project Ivy stuff sounds like a streaming series," one user posted. "You're telling me Meghan's PR firm is orchestrating a CIA-scale narrative OP?" Another added, "If this is legit, the implications go beyond Meghan. Celebrities are now geopolitical players." Even staunch royalists seemed stunned. If her team is part of Ivy, Buckingham Palace is headed straight for DEFCON 1. Crown Watcher UK reported that former intelligence officials appeared on news panels, sounding the alarm. They argued that the battlefield has shifted. Today, it's not missiles or malware, it's storylines. Narrative warfare is the modern front line. One retired operative said, "Controlling attention means controlling influence. And when someone as high profile as Meghan appears on a classified narrative briefing, that's a tectonic shift." What made the leak so explosive wasn't just that Project Ivy might be real, it was that Meghan Markle's name, along with her advisory network, appeared on an actual CIA slide deck. The page, reportedly verified by two intelligence insiders, laid out a timeline of influence activity. At the end of one column, Markle-affiliated Digital Amplification Group, flagged for narrative seeding. The language was clinical, but the implications, monumental. A source who viewed the briefing said it's extremely rare for the CIA to name individuals unless they're considered strategically significant. It doesn't mean she's an agent, the source emphasized, but it does mean her media presence and her team's influence mechanics intersect with matters of geopolitical consequence. How did her name end up in that file? The CIA reportedly traced a pattern of synchronized messaging bursts across global digital platforms. The pattern aligned with several accounts linked to Meghan's PR consultancy. These accounts consistently promoted themes like overhauling royal tradition, increased media transparency in the Commonwealth, and philanthropic independence from the crown. Whether intentional or not, the messages closely mirrored broader campaigns aimed at challenging traditional structures in monarchy-influenced societies. The briefing didn't accuse Meghan of espionage, it did something more nuanced. It marked her media machine as a node within a larger influence ecosystem. The public split instantly. The CIA flagged Meghan's PR team. "This is bonkers," one influencer posted. "She's literally in a spy agency PowerPoint." Others pushed back. This is just classic intel paranoia. The agency can't stomach a woman who's powerful. And off-script, meanwhile, media analysts pointed to the core truth behind the chaos. Royal drama has gone global, with digital virality and public influence becoming geopolitical weapons. Anyone capable of shifting public mood, especially on contentious issues like monarchy, race, or global charity, enters the spotlight of state interest. One former intelligence official told CNN, Project Ivy isn't traditional espionage. It's influence infrastructure. Whoever can pivot a narrative faster controls the temperature of international conversations. The fact Meghan's team is flagged, that shows just how far her digital footprint now reaches. It was unprecedented for someone outside a formal political office to trigger such coordinated response on both sides of the Atlantic. Yet after the leak broke, Buckingham Palace reportedly convened a rare late-night strategy session. One palace aide was overheard saying, "If Washington is circling Meghan, this isn't just about family tensions anymore, it's about global perception." The leaked CIA slide linking Meghan Markle's team to Project Ivy didn't remain Washington gossip for long. By the next morning, it had sparked alarm inside Whitehall. Sources confirmed both MI6 and GCA initiated quiet internal reviews to assess whether British intelligence held overlapping data regarding Project Ivy. An external intelligence consultant familiar with UK procedures remarked, "When the US flags a potential reputational risk event, one based on perception, you can bet senior officials at Whitehall take notice, especially if a member of the royal family is remotely involved." According to a confidential memo circulating among senior UK government figures, Project Ivy was now being assessed not just as a media flare-up, but as a potential threat to the monarchy's soft power across the Commonwealth. A senior political insider reportedly told colleagues, "This issue has moved far beyond the tabloids. It's now on the agenda at cabinet-level discussions." Social commentary in Britain reached a boiling point. The palace has to be seething, one user posted. CIA leaks. Now MI6 on alert. This is more than just a PR nightmare, it's an international mess. On Crown Insider, political reporters broke down the timeline. From stepping back for privacy to allegedly being tied to a global perception up, that's a surreal trajectory. Across the Atlantic, Intermedia Pulse reported on how Canadian and Australian outlets had begun framing the leak not as a royal scandal, but as a wake-up call. The real concern, the increasing blur between celebrity-driven branding and political influence. On one popular Australian morning program, an anchor asked viewers live on air, if Meghan's advisors are steering conversations across Commonwealth nations, is she now a cultural disruptor or an unintended intelligence subject? Supporters of Meghan rallied online, claiming it was an orchestrated smear meant to penalize her independence from royal control. At Marl Denda Privily, one post read, "Let's be real. This is retaliation. She outgrew the firm, and now they're trying to paint her as some kind of media puppet master." Meanwhile, palace sources were reportedly more focused on containment than counterattack, not because they believed Meghan was operating an influence network, but because the mere suggestion of a royal connection to such an operation threatened the paper institution's greatest asset, neutrality. A senior aide was quoted as saying, "This isn't about guilt, it's about perception." The idea that the crown is politically entangled even through indirect associations is profoundly destabilizing. As British and American institutions scrambled, Meghan's team reportedly reacted with fury. According to a source close to her PR staff, she first learned about Project Ivy's existence the same way everyone else did. Online. She allegedly convened an emergency Zoom call within the hour. According to someone present, Meghan said bluntly, "They're trying to make me the face of a global op because I won't stay in my lane. This isn't about me. It's about silencing disruption." Her US legal team, based in Los Angeles, reportedly began drafting official requests for explanation from both the CIA and the Department of Justice. Meghan's spokesperson later issued a controlled but pointed press release. The Duchess of Sussex has no involvement, direct or indirect, in any influence operation. These accusations are defamatory and echo a pattern of long-standing misinformation. Behind the curtain, insiders say her team debated whether to file lawsuits immediately or allow the controversy to exhaust itself. One seasoned PR executive, with ties to her inner circle, commented anonymously, "They're treating this like it's the next phone hacking saga. The strategy: deny hard, isolate key sources, and punch back." As the story gained traction, social platforms turned into flashpoints. Imagine logging in to discover your name is on a CIA report. Read one viral post on DC Leaks Daily. Another countered, "Every time Meghan gains momentum, someone tries to bury her under a headline." At Markle Alliance, skepticism remained. There's a reason her team is listed. These ops don't materialize on agency radar without reason. Meanwhile, World Intel Watch reported that U.S. intelligence sources were already attempting to calm the firestorm. A senior official told NBC News, "The presence of Meghan's team in our analysis does not imply illegal conduct. The CIA routinely reviews influence landscapes that include celebrities, billionaires, and media operations. It's about assessing potential, not assigning blame." Still, Meghan's defenders weren't convinced. How convenient this leaks just as her brand. Someone doesn't like how powerful she's become. One user posted on Pop Culture Insider. By the end of July 23rd, Project EV had become the #1 trending topic worldwide on X, formerly known as Twitter. The fallout extended well beyond social feeds. Within 2 days of the leak, members of the House Intelligence Committee in Washington were asking for closed-door briefings on Project Ivy. A congressional aide told Politico, "We're not alleging Meghan is an agent. But if someone with her profile shows up in CIA slides, we need to understand why." Even a bipartisan senator reportedly joked to a colleague in passing, "We're not saying she's a spy, but we are saying we're paying attention now."